Coucou mes chéris! In today's video, I'm going to do a little what's in my vintage handbag. I thought it might be fun to share with you what I generally take out with me, especially if I'm going to be going to do some vintage hunting, what I find handy and helpful, and just a little vintage girl's survival kit. And because I thought it might be fun, I will share the names of all of the items in my bag with you in French as well. It will help me practice my French and you might learn something too. So in no particular order, we'll start with the most obvious thing. My wallet or my purse. In French, this is called un portefeuille, which translates to leaf carrier, like a note holder. So yes, obviously my mobile phone, but I am using that to record my sound, but we call that un portable in French, just a portable. A silk scarf, also known as un carré en soie, that translates literally to a silk square. The reason I carry this around is because you never know, particularly here in Nice, when I'm out and about, it could suddenly particularly get very windy. So I like to be able to just pop my scarf on my head and protect my hair. Also good for light rain. Obviously it's not going to protect you if it absolutely buckets down, but it just helps keep all of that hard work in place. I have an essential oil blend. This one is a serene one, particularly if I'm traveling, like doing train trips or going on an airplane or something. I like to have something like this. It just rolls onto your temples and it smells really nice and it is very calming. So that's les huiles essentielles. I always carry some sunnies around with me, even in winter time. I like to protect my eyes. Everyone always says you should always wear your sunscreen. You should always wear your sunglasses, even on cloudy days, if it is particularly glary, to protect your eyes and have them last as long as possible. And I just tend to carry a generic pair that go with everything around. But obviously, sometimes I style them with my outfit and so they change. But these are les lunettes de soleil. This is kind of a random one, but it is a diamond testing pen. Let's face it, I've just watched a little bit too much Antiques Roadshow and I dream that one day I will accidentally come across a piece of jewelry in a thrift store or at an antique market that's actually worth tens of thousands of dollars. You never know. So in French, this is called un stylo testeur de diamant. I have sugar-free vegan chewing gum, which unsurprisingly in French is called un chewing gum. There's a lot of anglicisms in France. I have hand sanitizer, self-explanatory, especially if you're going thrifting and touching all of those things that have potentially not been cleaned or washed for who knows how long and touched by so many other random people. And in French, this is called le gel hydroalcoolique. And where there is hand sanitizer, you must have hand cream so your hands don't get all dried out. And this is just simply called le crème. Another item that I like to have in my handbag is little stocking socks. I somehow always find that whenever I manage to come across a pair of really gorgeous vintage shoes, I'm somehow not wearing stockings. I'm usually in like capri pants and a pair of ballet flats with no socks, and then I don't want to be trying on some gross shoes at like a flea market or something without having something on my feet. So I have les mi-bas in my bag, half stockings. Now some like generic things that I think most people have in their bags. I have little earbuds. I didn't look this one up. I think they're called les écouteurs. Les écouteurs, but they might have another name. They might even be called earbuds. Because I'm a responsible dog owner, I have always got poopy bags in my bag. These are compostable ones from my favorite vegan cafe in Nice. Now, I can't believe I'm going to tell you what these are in French, but here we go. It's called les sacs à crotte chien. I am an allergy-ridden gal, so I always have antihistamines in my bag. Les antihistamines, easy. And I have two different crystals in my bag. One is to attract money. A friend gave it to me and I honestly don't remember who it was, many, many years ago. And the other one is a crystal that one of my dad's friends put in his coffin at his funeral, and she handed me another one when she was there, and she said it so me and my dad are always together, so I always carry that in my handbag. And in French they're called les cristals. I always carry perfume in my bag. I wear perfume every single day. This one is actually from Dossier. They sent it to me recently. It is Ambery Saffron, and it has saffron and orange and jasmine and oak moss. I love a unisex scent, and this is absolutely delightful. Love. And in French, perfume is just called le parfum. Tissues, les mouchoirs. Always need tissues. Again, I'm an allergy-ridden gal. A pen, un stylo. You never know when you're going to need a pen. I always have one on hand because when I don't have one, that is when I need it. I have a little compact mirror. I have several of these ones. This one's actually broken, I think. You can't tell from the inside, but I think it has a Klimt painting on it. So I think probably my mum gave me this one. And in French, this is called un miroir poche, a pocket mirror. As a vintage girly, I'm always carrying my lipstick color of the day in my bag, un rouge à lèvres. That's an absolute bare basic essential in my handbag. We are almost there, guys. I also like to carry a pair of gloves in my bag. I just carry this pair of vintage leather gloves that came from my mum. They're black, they go with everything, and if I forget gloves with my outfit that day, or I didn't wear gloves because I thought it was going to be warmer, and then suddenly I have cold fingers, I can put these on. Also good for rummaging through things that are slightly disgusting at a thrift store. If you spot something at the bottom, you've got to get through a bunch of gross stuff to get there, like scarf bins sometimes, or like accessories bins. You can put your gloves on and then wipe them down with a disinfectant when you get home. And I almost forgot to let you know what they're called in French. Gloves are called les gants. Oh, and I think we're up to the last thing. This is an absolute essential if you are a vintage hunter, because I don't know about you guys, but I find a lot of my really beautiful and amazingly affordable vintage in antique stores, who of course don't have a change room because their focus is selling furniture and decorations. So I always keep this handy. I know my own measurements, but if I think I might have lost some weight or put on some weight recently, I can always measure myself on the go, and I can measure the garments lying flat to check if they're going to fit me or not. If you don't know how to measure yourself for buying vintage, basically what you want to do is measure under your armpits around your bust. So you're going to pass the tape measure underneath your armpits and measure across the top of your bust. You want to measure around your waist at its smallest point, and you want to measure around your hips at their widest point around your bum as well. And then I would highly recommend for your hips and your bust to give yourself an extra inch between your measurement and the measurement of the piece that you are buying. And remember, if you're measuring it flat, you have to double that number to get your measurement. So go 1 inch extra for your bust and your hips. And for your waist, I go anywhere between 1 inch less to 1 inch more than my true size, because I have a little bit of extra weight on and I don't do as much sit-ups and exercise for my abs as I used to. So I'm a bit squishy around the middle, and I can get away with going 1 inch to 1.5 inches under my true waist size. And I figure if it's 1 inch extra, I can wear a belt or I can take it in. And in French, a tape measure is called un mètre ruban. So that is what is in my vintage bag, guys. I hope that that was helpful and interesting, and that you maybe learnt some new French words today. I certainly did. I won't pretend that I knew all of them before I did this video. So it is always helpful for me to share some vocabulary and to learn some new things. I would love to know in the comments down below if you'd like me to share more French vocabulary with you guys so that we can learn together. Don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe, and I will see you in the next video. Bye.